We're here with fifth-year head coach Rick Horr of the swim teams here at school. Now, you guys are headed in this weekend to the New England Intercollegiate Swimming and Diving Association, better known as the N.E.S.D.A. The championships in White River Junction, Vermont, in a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. As you head into this final event of the season, would you say your team has met expectations so far?
Absolutely. Our team is, I personally think, exceeded expectations. I came in with sort of a blank slate as to, on the women's side, I didn't really know where we were going to be. We were so young. And then on the men's side, I knew we were going to be much improved, but I didn't know how much improved. And I think every single week through the season, they surpassed my expectations and really have kind of culminated over the last week or so, kind of into this group of swimmers that are really ready to do their absolute best this last meet of the season.
So certainly an interesting season on both sides. I guess we'll go in more specifics. First, talk about the women's team, which, as you say, is a completely different look this year with only 2 returners and 9 freshmen. How's the team come along so far?
They've come along great. Coach Pierce and I, when we looked at the roster, we knew we were going to be very new with a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of work, but we had to do a lot of coaching as far as teaching them how to swim in college. Some kids had been out of the water for multiple years, in some cases all the way through high school. They swam in middle school and decided to pick it up again in college, which is very difficult to do. But we went into this season knowing that we were going to have those types of moments, those teachable moments. And I think every step of the way where we've had a chance to teach or coach on what to expect, they've really bought into it 100%, top to bottom. I couldn't be more proud of the women's program for being as young as they are. One thing I use a lot of is fight, drive, and pride. And in every meet they show fight, drive, and pride, regardless of if we're going to win or lose. They never give up, and they give me their best all the time.
Now on the men's side, which is kind of opposite, you guys have 6 returners and 3 newcomers. How has the men's team evolved throughout the season?
Well, this is absolutely the strongest men's program we've ever had here. We've qualified all 9 men for New England's, and every man has qualified in the maximum number of individual races you can swim, which is 3. So that's kind of that's been a goal over the last couple of years to try to do, and so to see that happen has been really awesome. The returners have grown, and the newcomers have just been sort of seamless pieces. They've really gravitated towards those returners to really understand what swimming in college is all about, and really from day one we're focused on the goal of making us as best as we possibly could be, wherever that ended up, record-wise or qualifying-wise or whatever. So.
Now, 2 of the freshmen, Alex Gilvey and Lauren Rabideau, has their effort kind of pushed their upperclassmen to kind of up their game a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. Lauren we didn't get until mid-November because she was running cross-country, rightfully so, GNAC Rookie of the Year. But Alex in the pool pushed everyone from day one. Not so much that they were afraid they were going to lose out on a spot. Swimming is a sport where everyone can kind of find a niche. But it's just they kind of realized that this top-level recruit came here because they wanted to be part of it, and sort of, I think, helped build their pride in the program as well as their work ethic. The women saw that and really fed off of the men. And then when Lauren hit the pool in November, same thing sort of happened. Those kids just kind of gravitate together and sort of lead by example in a lot of cases. And I wouldn't say it's a competition with the upperclassmen. If anything, it's a good back and forth and a good relationship. So we've definitely seen a difference in the practices this year because of those 2.
Now, in sports like swimming, there's coaches talk about having the swimmers peak at a certain time. Is there some sort of trick to having them peak at the right time? Most of the swimmers, if not all, have improved their times considerably since October.
Well, the goal in swimming is always to swim the fastest at championships. You know, whether it be, you know, at the high school level, the college level, the Olympic level. You really want to be hitting all cylinders, ready to go, the absolute fastest you're going to be for that season with championships. That's something that a lot of coaches really buy into and really strive for, where you beat the living heck out of them for most of the year, and then you start to back off and taper them, and so that they peak. There's a lot of science behind it, and there's also some gut instinct as well, because some kids you will push really hard right up until a certain point, and then nothing, and then others you have to kind of really wean them off the distance. I don't know if there's a trick to it, but it's definitely one of the more nerve-wracking pieces as a coach, because you sit back and go, did we do enough during the season? Did I start tapering them too soon? Did I taper them too late? And are they going to hit the pool for championships? Perfect.
Yeah.
Typically know after the first day or so where we're going to be for the rest of the weekend.
Now, what are some challenges of having to peak twice? You have the N.E.I.S.D.A championship in December, and also the N.E.S.D.A's after Christmas break in February.
That was a very interesting situation when I came to this level. When I was at UNE as an assistant, it was my first time I really ever saw that. And then coming here, sort of that mid-season championship. We don't necessarily taper for that. This is what our final goal is. So our goal is always New England's and see where we're going to be.
Yeah.
N.E.I.S.D.A, we always want to do really well, so we tend to rest more than a full-on taper. It's definitely an interesting approach. Some schools taper for both N.E.I.S.D.A and New England's. I feel we get a better taper for New England's by resting for N.E.I.S.D.A. It's unique, and it's taken some getting used to, but over the last couple of years I think we've kind of found the right mix of how to train them through December to N.E.I.S.D.A and then pick it back up and train them the rest of the way to New England's.
Now, last year your teams posted the best N.E.S.D.A results in program history. The women placed 16th with 174 points, the men placed 9th with 170. What should we look for the men and women this year?
Well, the field's a little different. We've got a few schools that left the association, which kind of opens the door for some of the smaller teams out there, like us. I'm not sure where the women are going to end up. It's really going to depend on how our relays perform. Individually, they're going to do great, and we're going to try to get into scoring position as much as possible. On the men's side, we're going to be in the mix. That's something that we've seen sort of coming as the season's progressed, especially after N.E.I.S.D.A. And you're still going to see Keene, who's ranked nationally in the top 20. Roger Williams is right there, but then it's going to be a big mix of these other schools, and we're going to be right in there competing, giving it our best as much as possible. If you're looking for me to quote like a result or a place, I can't do that. All I can say is that it's going to be a really fun, interesting meet, and I think there's going to be a lot of teams really close to each other this year, and hopefully we'll come out on top.
Now, we see team records fall every year in the N.E.S.D.A championship. Why is it virtually all of our relay records are broken each February in Vermont?
When you taper, you're at your peak. And there's also this feeling of it's a championship meet, and relays are definitely a different animal. You see swimmers drop multiple seconds in a relay at a championship meet just because of that pressure of it being a championship meet and not wanting to let the other three folks in the relay down, as well as representing the team as best as you possibly can. And typically in New England's, it allows you to individuals can swim up to 4 relays. So typically you tend to see the top 4 swimmers, top 5 swimmers. You can kind of make a combination of those 5, or if you've got a deep enough team like we do on the women's side, where we're going to mix and match probably 7 or so women in our relays. It's just the way it shakes out. I personally think it's the peaking of taper and the pressure of a championship meet and not wanting to let the team down is where we really see the best results from. And last year, perfect example, we broke every relay record twice because of trials and finals, and that was not expected at all. And I have no idea what to expect this year after seeing what happened last year. So.
Now, for people who don't know, what is the format of this N.E.S.D.A championship like, guys? The prelims, finals, number for each individuals?
Yep. What they do is they spread out the basically every single swimming event that's possible over a 3-day format.
Yeah.
We swim trials and finals, which means everyone that qualified for that event and has entered into that event will swim in the morning. And then the women bring back the top 24 to swim in finals, and the men bring back the top 16. Same thing goes with the relays as well. It's a really long weekend. It's probably 3 or 4 hours in the morning, 3 or 4 hours in the evening, with maybe 2 to 3 hours in between to go back to the hotel and sleep a little bit. But as far as swimming goes, individuals can swim up to 3 individual events, and then they can swim a maximum of 4 relays on top of that. So potentially they could be swimming 7 times throughout the weekend in various events. Not to mention, if they qualify for finals, they can be swimming up to 14 times in 3 days.
So, talk about the atmosphere at a regional championship and maybe how it differs from the GNACs.
Well, the GNACs, it's smaller. There's 7 teams total, 7 women's teams, 4 men. At this level, you've got 21 women's teams and 11 men's teams. That right there brings the energy level up.
Yeah.
That plus it being the last meet of the year for a lot of kids. Our association has a few folks that might qualify for ECACs or nationals, but typically it's a pretty close field. And anytime you get some close racing like that, people are cheering, screaming, and that energy level just is through the roof in a lot of cases. It's fun, it's draining, even as the coaching staff, just because ups and downs and it's just all over the place. But it's a very unique experience.
Now, is the N.E.S.D.A strictly just for D3 swimmers, or has it got D1, D2, and D3?
It has Division 3 schools and Division 2 schools that don't supply a scholarship for any athletic purpose. That's part of the association rules. So that's where you'll see some of the Division 2 teams in the mix.
Yeah.
It's that they do not give an academic scholarship, or an athletic scholarship for participation. So sort of evens the field, that you get sort of that same caliber of swimmer across the board.
All right, well, congratulations on another fine season, Coach, and best of luck this weekend at the N.E.S.D.A Championship.
Thank you.